So we're here on the Transformer Slag podcast, and today we are joined with Dynamite Entertainment's Mariano, and we're going to be talking about the Transformers 40th anniversary trading card set that is currently right now going on Kickstarter and absolutely crushing it right now. So Mariano, introduce yourself. Who are you, and what do you have to do with this amazing card set?
Daniel, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I represent Dynamite Entertainment, and we are working with Hasbro on the license for the Transformers 40th anniversary trading card sets. We've developed two different sets to celebrate this huge anniversary.
So I want to also cover because what's interesting in your past, you've actually worked with Bob Budiansky, who's a big name in our community of Transformers and stuff. So what's your connection with him and the history with that too? So that's pretty cool because you have a little bit of pedigree connection with Transformers, even more than 20 years ago.
In the early 90s, I went to work at Marvel Entertainment. I went to work as an art director in advertising and promotion. And within the context of doing that, inside the company, a couple of years later, I shifted to the editorial department, and I actually worked under Bob Budiansky. It was Bob Budiansky that actually taught me much of what I know about trading cards because I worked hand in hand with him and others in the Marvel department to create the Marvel sets throughout the mid 90s.
Those early iconic Impel trading cards that everyone talks about today. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And again, Bob, who would, obviously do stuff with Transformers, so it's kind of serendipitous that it all kind of comes back in the end. It's very cool. So you guys, obviously, this is a licensed trading card set, so you guys licensed through Hasbro. How did you guys fall on deciding to do Generation 1 as the feature for this card set as opposed to, say, all the other iterations through the past 40 years?
So we're working very closely with Hasbro. And from the inception of this whole project, they had some desires, they had some goals that they wanted to reach. And because it's the 40th anniversary, they wanted to go back to the beginning. They wanted to go back to 1984 and the 80s and focus on Generation One, focus on the genesis, the creation of the Transformers, both in the toy angle of it all and in the creative conceptual angle of it all. So, to that end, the minute that this became real, the minute the project became greenlit here at Dynamite, very first thing I did was reach out to Bob Budiansky and reach out to Simon Furman, two folks that had been instrumental in the 80s in crafting the Transformers mythos.
Especially on the writing side, the two of them pretty much make up the 80 plus issues of Marvel related books on that side of things for
Correct.
the 80s and early 90s. So they're two key guys for sure. Um, what I noticed with the choices too, you guys went with 84, 85, and a little bit of 1986 characters from at least what we've seen with the trailers and stuff you guys shown thus far. Even got like 86 guys like Cup and Triptychon, even my boy Hot Rod, my favorite character. So that's pretty cool too. Um, what could we expect? Because you mentioned like bringing Bob and Simon on there. What could we expect in terms of the autograph cards? We're gonna get into the tiers and stuff in a moment, but like you guys have autograph cards and you have sketch cards. Do you have like kind of a short list of who could we expect in terms of autographs and who could we expect in terms of art and sketch?
So, and I have a couple of visual aids for you.
Okay,
Um,
perfect.
it's not just about autographs and sketch cards.
Yeah.
We wanted to dig into the core aspects of it all. So, especially Bob Budiansky, who's worn the hat of editor, who's worn the hat of artist, who's worn the hat of writer, had like a rich treasure trove of material from the 80s that has never seen the light of day.
Mm.
So, as an editor myself, a former editor at Marvel, uh, and because of Stan Lee's tutelage, as editors, we wore multiple hats. And that was also art directing. We would art direct our talent with whatever tools we had accessible to us. So in Bob's case, he would do pencil layouts. He would do rough layouts for the cover artists to create the material. He obviously did rough layouts for himself as he was doing his own covers. So we mined all this material to create subsets of cards. So yes, some of them are signed by Bob and by Simon, but we also have subsets of cards that are essentially creator personal cards, where they're
Mm.
writing on the back their thoughts and their conceptual ideas at the time for putting these characters, for creating these characters. So it's everyone here at Dynamite, our parent company is Dynamic Forces, which is a collectibles company. So
Mhm.
everyone here at Dynamite is a collector, loves comics, loves trading cards, loves lithographs, all of it. So we approach whatever projects we do under that umbrella as okay, yes, I'm a creative professional, but I'm also a fan. So as a fan, what would I like to see? What do I want on my bookshelf in my binder as I thumb through this trading card set? So that's how we approach this, and that's how we're doing it in big ways and in little ways.
And I noticed with the creator cards, those are pretty cool because you'll have like Simon talk about his favorite characters, like a Ravage or a Grimlock or a Nightbeat, and on the other side of it, like a commentary of what he loved about this. Those are pretty cool too. It's a little bit of an insight into the writers, and those are fan favorite characters. So to get any more information about them, especially from the creators, is always pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. And I know Bob has those too. Also, how many are those in that set? Because I don't think I saw an official
So
number.
we did two different sets.
Okay.
One is called a collector set,
Okay.
which is more of what everyone typically sees when they go to a store to pick up a box of trading cards.
Mm.
Uh, 10 cards to a pack, 24 packs to a box, and essentially that's a display box.
Yeah.
For the high end collectors, because we get requests from all ends. We obviously want to satisfy the casual buyers. We obviously want to satisfy folks that don't have huge collectible budgets. But for those who do have huge collectible budgets, for those that want truly rare material, we've created what we call deluxe ultra premium trading cards. And in that scenario, it's actually a sliding tray mini box, and it has a pack inside, and that has guaranteed collectibles. Whereas the collector set has randomized material, randomized metal cards, randomized signed cards, randomized sketch cards, the deluxe set guarantees every pack is going to have this chase material. So to that end, some of the things we're talking about appear in both sets. So there are creator cards that appear in the collector set. There are creator cards that appear in the deluxe set. The
Mm.
deluxe set has some sign material. Everything is different for both sets, different designs, different material. The collector set actually has some material from me.
Oh,
I
really?
got together, yeah, I got together with two collaborators. One is Joe Del Beato,
Okay.
and the other one is Wilson Ramos Jr. And we did pencil, inks, and color to create a special. I'm off camera. There we go. To create a special set of signed cards that are in the collector set.
Awesome.
So across the board, we've done things that just some create some collectability to for both sets.
And it's cool because like that's what I was telling people is like there's a possibility when you're cracking these packs to get something that's uniquely yours. And that's something that I always try to tell people who are not always familiar with modern trading cards today is yeah, you'll get the retail card sets, the base sets, if you will, for that vernacular. But you might also pull, a sketch card that's only yours and only yours. Like it's going to be something unique to you, and that's the fun of it too. With buying those, especially the ultra premiums, is you're going to have a whole bunch of stuff in there that's going to be uniquely only yours, a one of one of sketch cards or signatures or whatever. So that's always very exciting, you know.
These are Bob Budiansky originals.
There's a whole stack of them there. Look at that.
Yes, they are box toppers in the deluxe ultra premium set.
Oh, there's gonna be box
So
toppers. That I did not know.
guaranteed
Okay.
either Ken Hazer or Bob Budiansky sketch cards in those.
Awesome. That
So
is really
yes,
cool.
they're exactly what you said. And we actually gone went overboard for the 40th anniversary uh, we decided to do again something relatively new in the trading card collecting world, a one of one card, where one character is chosen, one design, one card is done. But where I say we went overboard is that because it's the Transformers 40th and we wanted to just satisfy as many fans as possible, we did 40 one of one cards, and we divided that up: 40 for the collector set, 40 that are unique in the collector set and only the collector set, 40 that are in the deluxe set and only unique in the deluxe set, and then 40 that were special, a special tier in the crowdfunder, which at this point is sold out. It was so popular.
Yeah, well, we might as well kind of segue to that. So, what are the different? So, first of all, actually, I'll probably get into this. So, for people that are wondering, so the Kickstarter itself, in my opinion, what it exists for is because you have the retail blaster hobby box, however you want to label it, that'll be available for the base set with some chases in it. And then the Kickstarter, I feel, is for the hardcore fan that wants that little extra more. Uncut cards, one of ones, which are now have been sold out, but the binder and access, of course, to the ultra premium packs and everything like that. So, what are the different tiers that we have for this Kickstarter right now? Which, by the way, is absolutely killing it. Like you guys started with 19,000 as like a goal, and then since then we're like, what are we at now? I think it's at like 210,000 or something. So definitely doing very well.
Very, very gratified. Everyone is extremely gratified,
Yeah.
another huge thank you to the fans for this, for the support, for loving Transformers, for all of it. So, Kickstarter, a lot of these crowdfunders have kind of taken on a life of their own, and by that I mean that it used to be that you've got some kind of new project, you're working out of your garage or whatever, and it was a way to get out there and try to raise funds to make your project a reality. What's happened is that the crowdfunding has grown so large, the audience has grown so large that it's essentially become a distribution platform all its own. So we years ago acknowledged and realized that for crowdfunding, it actually serves as a perfect distribution outlet, especially for people that don't have a comic shop nearby, or live someplace in the world remotely and don't have a Walmart or don't have a Target or don't have a large mass market box store.
Mm, that is correct.
So to that end, you're right. Your observations are correct. We are including in this Kickstarter material that ultimately will end up in the marketplace. The collector set boxes, those are going to end up in the marketplace. The deluxe set ultra premium boxes, those are going to end up in the marketplace. But alongside that, and again acknowledging the uniqueness of a crowdfunder, we have developed exclusive material for this Kickstarter. Now, you mentioned the binder. And
Mm,
again, all of this is working hand in hand with Hasbro. All of this is I was in touch with them daily on this project for months. So I've worked very closely with Hasbro. And just as a little aside, for me personally, it's a huge, I don't even know how to describe it. My dad worked for Hasbro for decades, back in the 80s, back in the
really
90s, back in the 2000s. He was an industrial engineer, so he wasn't on the creative side, but he certainly was an artist and a creator on his own. So he helped develop the games, he helped develop toys, G.I. Joe, Transformers, all of it. So my
interesting.
brother and I grew up with this stuff, and the the um, the opportunity to now work with Hasbro one on one like this is like a dream come true. And it's like my dad, I know, is smiling down and looking down
That's
because
fantastic.
this is wonderful. I now can say I'm part of the Hasbro family. Um, but anyway, enough of that little sidebar.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, you just touched on quickly, like, it's something that what's really cool about this whole set and everything is just that it really is a celebration of the brand because, again, Transformers has been around for 40 years. If people haven't noticed in the background, kind of my obsession a little bit. It the camera does not even depict the wall to wall to wall that this all is, but also my love of trading cards, and you guys are really creating something that, and to me, especially modern trading cards today, as someone who's been collecting trading cards since the late 80s to this very moment, the way modern trading cards are today is what could you give the fans that is just something unique? You know, how do you do things differently in this ever evolving time of the eyeballs are elsewhere? You know, let's put it that way. So I really love what you guys are putting together. Offering again the binder is a special one because that's something that I noticed is kind of uniquely you guys now more than ever. Because it used to be like that a little bit in the late 80s, early 90s, where a set would come out and then they'd have like a mail away binder that you could get. You know, Marvel Impel used to do that back in the day, Series One and Series Two. But you don't really see that much anymore. Even especially with the sports card world too, where you just kind of have to fend for yourself, get a D ring, and get some Ultra Pro pages. But you guys are actually putting something out that's officially licensed for this set, so that's a nice companion piece. You were going to say sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say that Daniel, that you were spot on, and this is something that again we worked on hand in hand with Hasbro. The front design, the back design, the concept. Again, going back to a company full of collectors, a company full of fans, we have designed this set so that whenever possible, it's not always 100% possible, but whenever possible, I'm going to say 95, 98% of the set is geared to fit in 9 card sleeves. So
Mm.
the subsets, the connecting art cards,
Which
all
we'll
this
get
stuff
into, yeah. Yeah.
is geared to fit in 9 card sleeves, so that when it's all said and done and you've collected the set, you've got something to thumb through. You pull it off your shelf and you're thumbing through it, and it's all cohesive. There's like a design and
I
an
call it the vibe.
organization to it.
I call it the card collector vibe, which is especially like I found that Skybox started to figure that out in the early 90s where they're just like, well, everyone's, you know, in the early 90s, early, like say 91, 92, card companies didn't make the connection at the nine pockets just yet, but by about 93, 94, Skybox like, you know, hey, you know, people see these as like books, like display pieces. They want to
Right.
and so the 9 point of, you know, who's going to be that center, like I call it the number 5 card. Is that going to be a Jordan or a Gretzky? You know, because that's going to be the center. And then of course Skybox started doing puzzle pieces, also a little bit of Impel with the X-Men stuff. But you know, they started doing the puzzle piece thing, and you guys brought that too, also with some of this, which we'll get into when we go into the tiers, which maybe we'll go into that now. So like what are some of the tiers? Like what are you guys offering as that extra for the hardcore fans that are part of this Kickstarter if they want to get?
So and let's go back to sketch cards, because
Yeah.
that's in our minds a truly collectible and unique piece. Gordon Purcell, old friend of mine from the industry, he volunteered to come on board. We're taking 2.5 by 3.5 for normal sized sketch cards, and we're creating a large connecting art mural that has 9 sketch cards that create an image. So that is a tier that is unique to Kickstarter, that's not available anywhere else. That's not going to be in any of the packs anywhere else. You can only get it in the Kickstarter, and it is original Gordon Purcell art, where he is recreating a Bob Budiansky pencil layout and going to inks on it.
That is the iconic cover of issue number 47 of the Marvel books, the Siakon attacking Jesse from the humans and stuff. So that's the one that's shown on the Kickstarter there. It looks really
Yes,
cool. Yeah.
yes. Um, Along those same lines, we've taken the concept of a sketch card and we've created oversized sketch cards, 5 by 7. Those 5 by 7 cards, we're actually going to take requests from fans. Whoever purchases that 5 by 7 sketch
Oh,
card, we will
interesting.
take a request on what character they would like on it. Again, has to go through Hasbro approval.
Yeah.
We have to go through a few hoops to make it all happen. But the reality check is anybody that gets that 5 by 7 sketch card, we will be working hand in hand with them to get them the sketch that they're looking for.
That's amazing. I did not know that that was how it worked. I thought it was just
Yeah,
more of a randomized thing. So that's pretty cool then. So,
we're trying to personalize this. We're trying to make it special for the fans, especially because you mentioned the numbers in this campaign are high numbers.
mhm.
So yes, we're a company, and yes, we're everyone's looking to get sales and to make revenue, but we're also about making sure that the fans are taken care of, and we're also about wish fulfillment, if you will. So if someone's got a wish, if someone's got a desire for their collection, this is an opportunity to try to make it real.
That's amazing. I didn't because I know again, I've been talking about this Kickstarter for the past couple of weeks now. I was not aware that it was personalized. I thought it was more just, oh, if you're part of this tier, we're gonna give you a Bumblebee. Here you go, in an oversized. No, I didn't know it was
And
personalized.
there are fans that have that mindset. They're fans, just surprise me or give me whatever you want. But there are fans that have actually now specifically requested material. So
That's really
we will
cool.
do the best we can.
And there is hundreds of just generation 1 characters and everyone has their favorites, so that's a really cool
Exactly.
opportunity. That's a really cool opportunity for people. I did not realize that that's what it was because me, I there's a term within Hasbro licensing where they call it the legendary 7, which is there's 7 most popular characters that'll always come up usually, and of course they're featured in this set too, no surprise. The Bumblebees, the Optimuses, Starscream, Megatron, Grimlock, Soundwave. Did I mention Megatron? Devastator. Those are like the key guys. But then, what if you're one of those fans that likes Generation One Bludgeon? So you could. That's pretty cool that you could request that. That's really awesome. You know, that is really cool. Um, so yeah, what else? What other tiers do we got?
So I don't have it up in front of me. So if I
You
go
got
by memory, that
so you have the uncut card one. That's really cool.
so the uncut sheet, we actually got a jump on production on that. Funny you should mention that,
Oh, very
because
nice.
here it is. This is the one card uncut sheet. So that has a level that is either autographed by, you can get it on its own, or you can get it autographed by Bob Budiansky.
That's really
Um,
cool.
Again, trying to find unique collectibles for everybody, trying to stay on top of the wave and make sure that everything we're offering is ready to go, which we are. Where things are in production, things, as you can see, are on press. So um, that's the other end of all of this, when the campaign ends, get immediately into fulfillment and get things rolling as quickly as possible.
And that's something that you have there. That's like because you have stuff that's destined for the 9-page binder, and then you got those items that are like frameable. You put that on a frame on your wall. Uncut sheets, people frame those. Sketch cards and oversized sketch cards, people frame those. Those are like they're so cool to have that kind of stuff, and I appreciate that you guys did that, especially the uncut sheet because that's the kind of stuff that card collectors always are gunning for, always, and it's cool to get that, especially and to get it signed by Bob too is an extra bonus. So you get that little prestige with that too from one of the hands of the creators of the brand. Just great stuff. One of the other ones that you guys had, of course, you had the binder that we mentioned before is an add-on edition, which is pretty cool. You also had the sketch card one. You had the oversized sketch card. You had the trying to remember some of the others, the one of ones, but those I believe you said are already sold out.
Right.
Um, think and then of course you have the higher tiers of getting the box, getting the ultra premium box. You have some group package deals which are pretty cool too. I know a couple of my friends that backed it. That's how they went about it. They liked that they could get a box and they could also get the binder with it as a package deal because that's a good connection there to have the two there because they're going to want to put those in pages once they crack the packs. I'm trying to think of a few others you guys
Metal
had.
cards.
The
There's
metal
there's
cards,
metal
that's the
cards
other
on
one.
sale.
Yes, metal cards. So what's the story with those? Tell us about those ones.
So metal cards, and it's tough because pictures don't do them justice.
Oh, it
I
does
don't
never
even know if the
does.
camera, when you look at these in sunlight, they have like a rainbow effect on them. They're very cool invention, recent invention. By recent, I mean, past decade or so. But
Yeah.
um, so yes, we have metal cards that we've produced, and we've introduced metal card subsets. Again, the collector set has some randomly inserted into packs. The deluxe set has them as box toppers, and of course, the crowdfunder has its own unique set of metal cards.
Mhm.
So if you're a metal card fan and you love that type of artwork, which I do, I'm a big fan of that type of artwork. Um, they're available. They're there.
That's very, very cool. And again, the Kickstarter has an opportunity if you want to get some of those direct. That's a tier.
Exactly.
That's a tier there
Exactly.
on top of just the randomization. And again, if I remember hearing correctly, the randomization is hand collated. Like that's how it's coming, not
So
factory?
for the collector set,
And also
it's
explain what that is for people who don't know, by the
okay.
way. Yeah.
So the collector set has 110 cards plus the parallel foil cards. So randomization is, and I'm not a super expert, but uh, a printer will have actual machinery that
Hmm.
shuffles the cards
Yeah.
and puts them in place. So it's mechanical randomization.
Yeah.
For the deluxe sets, where we're guaranteeing 2 sketch cards per pack, we're hand collating those. It's not machine randomized. Those cards are hand collated. And the reason for that is, again, catering to collectors. I'm digging through some of Bob Budiansky's work here because it's a prime example. So here is a headshot of
Megatron.
Megatron, right?
Beautiful.
And now we have a body shot. So you can expect in the deluxe set that you will have some type of body shot and some type of headshot, a balance of what you're getting. And for sure, one Decepticon and one
One
Autobot.
Autobot. Very good.
So, which was another big thing that Hasbro was advocating, that in all cases we have parity, if you want to call it, that for every
A diversity of a pack. No one likes to just kind of get everything of one thing in a pack. They want to have a little bit
correct.
of it. Yeah.
Correct. There's going to be Autobots and there's going to be Decepticons, and you find that across the board. When you look at the binder, back to the binder, the front of the binder focuses on Autobots. The back of the binder focuses on Decepticons. So
Beautiful.
anyway, that's so randomization, the machine randomization versus hand collation.
Beautiful. The next thing. So we have all that stuff, but let's talk about the stretch goals, which you had three of them initially, and all of those got apps. I think you guys crushed the first and second stretch goal within like the first 5 hours that you guys went
Yeah,
live. and then
they've proven super popular. Yes,
and then
we're
the
I think
third.
we're up to the fourth stretch goal now.
So yeah, so we haven't talked about because we've seen the three thus far that have been. So do you have plans for future stretch goals? Because originally it was only three. That was the pie in the sky. Now we're talking the fourth one that hasn't been truly addressed yet. So there will be a fourth and maybe fifth or sixth, let's say.
So the answer is yes. We have stretch goals that will cover us again. Back to I'm trying to close the loops here, uh, and not reinvent the wheel, so to speak. So somewhere in our conversation we talked about the binder and we talked about the 9 card sleeve and we talked about the purposeful design of creating subsets that are going to fit into 9 card sleeves. So guess what? When it comes to the stretch goals, we have the exact same mindset. The ideal scenario would be to release stretch goals so there will be sets of 9 of these.
Mm,
And
interesting.
that's where we are right now. We're right in the middle of it. So the more we climb on the stretch goals, the more there's an opportunity to fill a complete subset of stretch goals.
Now those cards that are included, because there's something special about them in terms of its design and everything. What are these stretch goal cards that are right now? If you got in on the Kickstarter, you're guaranteed to get at least six of them
Right.
so far.
Anyone who steps in and purchases anything is guaranteed to get all the previous stretch goals.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, trying to find unique little collectible hooks, if you will. Uh, one of the and it wasn't that it was popular, it was the only way they were produced back in the day, in the 70s and the 80s, were trading cards that were glossy on one side and non-glossy, just matte paper on the other side.
This is a 1984. Oh gosh, what company produced this at the time? I think it was Hasbro Direct even. Again, card stock on the back, very simple, and then a gloss, whatever the image was on the front back
Correct.
then. So
Now,
that
in
old
today's
80s style.
Yes, in today's modern age, um, that so that was the cutting edge technology back in the day. So in today's modern age, anyone who wants to harken back to that sort of vintage style, uh, we have designed. Well, we didn't design it. The printers have something called clay
Packhurst.
stock paper.
Packhurst maybe. I'm trying to think what company first started that, but yeah, I get you. Yeah. Maybe
Printers
Donruss.
now call that clay stock paper,
Oh, okay,
where
that's
it's
the term.
manufactured to resemble what was back, normal back in the day, back in the
Mm.
70s and 80s. So the collector set has a handful of these as part of their randomized uh, set, but for the crowdfunder, we developed a very specific subset, which we're, as we just discussed, are releasing as stretch goals. So they are in this vintage clay stock paper that's virtually not available anywhere else to get as a group.
And they're very cool. So right now, just to reiterate for fans, so if you back the Kickstarter right now, you're guaranteed to get an Optimus, a Megatron, a Bumblebee, a Starscream, a Mirage, and a Soundwave. So that's pretty cool. And again, we'll see what the future brings with future backing, what other
Yes,
characters
we
we'll get.
will.
Oh yeah, that's very, very, very cool. What I wanted to also just cover quickly is so this is clearly been a success. This is clearly is, and we're not even close to done yet. You still got 18 days left. Again, it's going to be ending October 25th at midnight. Well, a little bit before midnight. Um, and I mean, it's the sky's the limit really with this thing. But so now that you've seen success, have you? I know, look, we're kind of jumping ahead here, but have you talked with Hasbro about future sets with Transformers, future eras of the Transformers to do card sets from?
So the short answer is yes. There we will get, based on the success we're seeing on all of this that we're doing, based on the success of the new movie. Yes, we're going to move forward with something new in the near future. Um, what that looks like, how it's released, when it's released, all of it is all just talk
Yeah,
right
that's all semantics, because especially considering you already have Bob on board, like the next, and I know I'm speaking for the fans right now because the next step after Generation One would be Beast Wars Transformers. Yeah, Bob, you have Simon. Simon worked with Beast Wars, so that's already like you got a guy right there that could do a whole bunch of sketch cards and signature cards and stuff. So that would definitely like I'm just speaking for the fans. If you're looking for your next spot, probably would be Beast Wars Transformers.
now.
There's a lot of material to pull from there.
And Daniel,
Yeah.
we're, as you pointed out, we're not done with this one. There will
Oh,
actually be some surprises coming up in the next 18 days.
well then,
So,
then
we're
again, I
not
didn't want to
anywhere
jump the
near.
gun, but thank you.
We're not anywhere near the end here. Stay tuned, because above and beyond everything we're talking about, there will more than likely be some new stuff unleashed on this crowdfunder.
That's beautiful. Aside from that, is there anything else that you want to say before we wrap it up? You guys have been just doing an incredible job. Like again, as a lifelong trading card fan myself, Transformers has always been kind of hit or miss in the modern era of trading cards. Fleer did something in the early 2000s, and then the movies would get this and that. But it's the first time we've ever had something that was done from a high-end collectible nature that we usually only see in the sports card world, you know? So, and I know Dynamite, you guys in the past, you've done other Kickstarters with other 80s brands. Boglins was a successful one you guys did recently. And I looked
Yes.
what you guys did with them and I was like, ooh, if we could get some of that, you know, on our end, that'd be great. So I'm very happy that you guys tackled this and you guys are doing exactly as I had hoped. Anything else that you want to say before we close this out, my
Just
friend?
just piggybacking on what you mentioned, we have, you're speaking to me, but I'm working with an army of talented folks to the left and to the right of me. Uh, Three different design studios were involved in the creation of these cards. So we really did pull out all the stops to try and create special material across the board. Uh, we're all fans, love Hasbro, love the Transformers, and love the fans, love the audience. So thank you, thank everyone that's watching for your support and your love, quite frankly.
Thank you, Marino, for coming, man. Like this is great stuff. This is great stuff. So if you wanna support this Kickstarter, I'll have the link in the description of this segment as well as we'll put it as the pinned comment too in post when we do the editing. And go check it out. We'll also probably at the end of this we'll post the trailer too for this so you could just kind of get a little glimpse of everything. But again, thank you, Mariano, for coming to the podcast and giving us the 411 on everything that's happening, and I hope you guys continue to do this in the future because us fans are loving it.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Daniel.
Take care.
Autobots roll out. It's the 40th anniversary of the Transformers, and we're celebrating 4 decades of robots in disguise with a massive trading card set. The Transformers 40th anniversary trading cards feature art from early G1 characters and concepts to the newest iterations. This card set has it all. Limited edition subsets, autographs, original art sketch cards, and more. We've created the ultimate trading card celebration set to complete your Transformers collection. You can get special super limited deluxe card packs, or boxes of traditional card packs, or even extremely limited collectible subsets that are going to be impossible to find. We have autographed cards by voice actors and one of the original architects of the Transformers comics, Bob Budiansky, that are incredible collectibles. Check out all of the amazing options here on Kickstarter and help us to unlock some out-of-this-world stretch goals exclusive to Transformers collectors here on the platform. This is the Transformers collectible you've been waiting for.